What's up guys, what is going on? In today's video, what we are talking about is frames. What is a frame? How to place frames on other people. And what are the frames that get placed on us? Unconscious, invisible barriers that we have no idea about. And some people don't know how to place them on another person. An invisible frame such as this is that I'm talking and you're listening. Why are you just listening? Why aren't you talking right now? Maybe you are talking. Maybe you're playing this video at a party. Who knows? But you know that there is an invisible sort of barrier that is being placed upon you. Sometimes in relationships, in business dealings, in high value people, but majority of the frames are done with your relationships. So let's dive in really deep and actually find out what the nitty-grittiness of frames are, how to place them on other people, as well as not getting caught in other people's frame. So I'm going to give you a basic understanding of what a frame is. So we're going here, what is a frame? A set of parameters defining either a particular metal or scheme or widening cognitive structure by which an individual perceives or evaluates the world, right? That's a frame that we have in terms of the world in which we sort of view everything. It's like how we grew up is how we view the world. A lot of time, have you found out that how you got brought up is how you view the world? Kind of the similar problems that your parents faced, you face, and you're like wondering why that sort of happens. Well, because you've been put under frames from your parents, from schooling, from society, in the geographical location you grew up in. A lot of the time these frames stick with you. They become habits, beliefs, and then they become ongoing patterns that happen in your life. When I say the term frame, you probably think of a picture frame or just kind of like an A-frame of like a house or something like that. And yes, although it has a bit of context with that, yeah, it is correct. But this one is kind of like, imagine those are invisible, but it still holds the structure up. And that's what the relationship is based on. So in relationships, dating especially, when we first meet someone, we are placing frames on different people, whether it's a friend, whether it's a mentor, mentee, whether it's a particular girl that we are interested in, whether it's someone that we want to attract. Any sort of time we interact with a new person, the starting of a relationship is like the base level groundwork and then how we build the framework from there. So hypothetically, let's go in a scenario, right? You meet a new person, you meet a new attractive girl, and I say that because that's what I'm interested in. So a lovely attractive girl, and what I do is that we're in a party, I get introduced to her, maybe I cold approach her on the street, and from there, I just allow her, she's a talkative girl, and I allowed her to talk, right? I allow her to talk, and I kind of butt in here and there, and then just talk here and there. And it just continues. The next day we see each other and she continues to talk. Oh, I'm such a blabbermouth, blah, blah, blah. What you're doing is you're leading the friendship, the relationship, whatever it is, into a framework where it's this girl taking a lot of the leadership qualities. She is the one talking. She is the one initiating the conversation. She is talking more than you. She is the one that's making, oh, we should go here and there and there. Let's go here. She is making the decisions. So in effect, she has taken the more leadership frame of the interaction. She has put you in a frame where you are more reactive to her and she is less reactive to you. Now, that's just because she's overwhelming with information and talking. That's just one scenario of a frame in which someone can put you in. Another example, you meet a lovely girl and she's a little bit shy and you start talking, and then what you do is like, okay, well, I know the best places. Let me take you here. So you take her by the hand and she's like, oh, okay, we're going on an adventure. And you take her to a new bar and then you're like, oh my God, let's get some drinks. I'll get you. Let's get 2 vodka lime sodas, or let's get, 2 Long Island iced teas. The bartender, oh, hi Jack, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And then you go through, I know the best eatery, we have ribs and stuff, so you take the ribs or you take the wings or this and that, and you are kind of dictating the interaction. You're like, let's go here, let's go here. Now you are the one that has done what the last girl did. You are the one that is the leader. You are the one that is non-reactive, and the girl that might be a little bit shy is a little bit reactive to you. She's like, oh crap, he's taking the lead. Oh cool, I can let him do his thing, and I like that. That's another frame you can put on. Let's put another frame. So a lot of time when I talk about interactions with women, what I talk about is that you have to have a man to woman frame, not a friend to friend frame. And this is what a lot of guys stuff up. They start to become too friendly. And you ever heard the term, the nice guy finishes last? This is what it really means, is that you're putting a frame of being a nice guy. You're putting a frame of being a little bit of a pushover. You're not challenging. You will never challenge, what they say. They might be like, pick that thing up. And you're like, oh, yes. And you want to help people out because that's what you've been conditioned to. Your parents might have told you, just be a nice gentleman that is perfect. And I'm not saying don't be those things that, are associated with that. You know, there's like chivalry, there's this and that, don't get me wrong. But a lot of the time when we're brought up, we think, okay, if we're nice to everyone, everyone will like us. And if you've seen other videos of mine, I talk about how you have to get some people, you have to be a little bit more polarizing. When you're more polarizing, you'll actually get people that love you, and you'll actually get people that hate you because they don't vibe with you. But if you're too much of a nice guy, you get placed in the frame of being friend to friend, that nice guy frame, that guy that will always be there. And that's what you don't want. In a relationship, attraction, if you actually find the definition of attraction, it's the action or power of evoking interest in or liking for someone or something. So we go that action plus traction. You know, action, the fact or process of doing something typically to achieve an aim. Traction, the action of drawing or pulling something over a surface. Friction, the action of rubbing one surface, so they're very connected. And then you get down to applying a force on something, which is tension. So if you actually have a look, attraction is tension. So when, you know, say you're dealing with someone and there's no tension, you're such a nice guy and it's just friendly, positive, never negative. What you'll do is you're not actually building tension, you're not actually building attraction. So hypothetically, you are in a man to woman frame, and sometimes you're not always going to agree with someone else. Sometimes you can be a little bit cheeky and be a little bit funny and contradict them and this and that and poke them and make fun. It actually builds the interaction. A lot of time in the world, we've got so used to never offending anyone. But I always say, like, okay, well, if you don't offend someone, how do you know where the kind of the boundaries are of your, you know, what is appropriate to say, what is not appropriate to say, you know? So where do you find the boundaries? So you have to be a little bit kind of like that to at least see the boundaries. If you're not, and you're just streamlining down one sort of stream and that's all they go, they know what they're going to get. It's like you never add that level of mystery. There's no depth to you. There is just this one track thing where it's always going to be nice. I could do anything. And the girls, this is what the girls think. I can do anything to him. I can literally legit fuck a guy in front of him and he will still be there going, you know, I still love you. Don't worry. It's all right. Like, I don't care. I'm still interested. You know, and this is what the girls think. I've had relationships in the past where she's like, you know, I've been this guy. She's like, why don't you just go fucking do something? Why don't you go to a strip club and fuck a stripper? I don't care. Just do something. It's just too boring is the word. It's too boring. There's nothing there. There's no challenge. It's like, there's just, the substance in there is just, it's just nothing. It's just the same. It's boring. It's genetic. It's predictable. And that's what we don't want to get you to. So in terms of putting it in, like, say, a man to woman frame, you know, some of the things that we want to do is be a little bit more challenging. We want to be a little bit more playful, you know, sort of provocative, a bit cheeky, you know, those kind of things, as well as being calibrated. And like, if you go too far, as I said, if you do offend them, you know, calibrate, say, apologize, I'm so sorry. But now you know where the boundaries are. So it's a win-win in any case. It's a win for her also, because now she knows that you know, as soon as you stepped over the boundary, you apologize, backed off, and now she feels a little bit more comfortable because now she knows, oh, this guy's actually got, you know, he knows how to read some social cues. Great, fantastic. Now we're going to go into frame control, right? So this comes into a little bit more kind of in depth. We're going to go a little bit slower and a little bit deeper. So a frame control refers to the body of skills or attributes with which you control social interactions and interpersonal relationships. When you have frame control, people are playing by your rules. As I said before, you are the leader, you are the commander, you are leading the interaction.
Now you put Lonzo on there with all them athletes and running and gunning, guess what?
Your son is that much bigger than Steph Curry?
He's bigger than Steph Curry. Steph Curry, what, 6'2"?
Steph Curry about 6'3".
Okay,
long
I'll
arms.
let him be 6'4". He's still shorter than my boy. Long arms? Can he jump? Can he run? Not like my boy. Let me tell you something.
Oh
if you
my
take
God.
Steph Curry...
something is wrong with you.
Yes.
Sir,
I'll
doesn't
tell you
make
what's
any
wrong
sense.
with you. I keep talking to you. Max, next.
You go ahead. You go ahead and talk to Max.
gotta talk to Max. This
You
is
go
my
ahead and
guy
talk to
right
Max.
here.
All right,
I
well,
don't even understand you right now. This is
the
insane.
criticism.
Talk to him, Max.
This is the criticism. Actually,
All you are doing is taking control of all the situations. You're relaxed in anything that happens. You're cool, calm, collected, and you're showing those characteristics. When dealing with people, there's going to be conflict. You know, people, you either fall into their frame or they fall into your frame. A great example is that when you have two people that are walking, one person is either catching up to the other person's speed, or that person is slowing or catching up to your speed, right? So people adjust to other people's kind of what they're about. So I'm sure you've met some people and you really, really vibe with them. You're like, I like this person. You know, there's something about them. As soon as you met them, you're like, they're really, really cool. I'm sure there's been some other people that you've met. You're like, I just don't like this person. You can just tell instantly, right? There's some people that you've seen, you see someone and you know that they're, the head of the group. They have the high value that stance in the environment. They might be the teacher, the principal, they might be the instructor, anything like that. And you see another person come in and try to kind of take control of the interaction, take control. And you'll probably see these frame battles from time to time. Just me telling you, okay, watch how people, watch what sort of, circumstances and sort of frames people put on people. They might interrupt someone, they might talk over the top of someone, they might contradict their point, they might disagree with them, they might want to try to take control. They might be like, someone like, let's go over here, and someone else goes, no, stuff that, let's do this. And when you become a little bit more aware of it, now you can see that in social interactions, people set these boundaries, these, sort of pre-assumptions, these kind of, as we've said, this framework on different people. So some other example is someone might be reacting a little bit more to you than you are to them. You have the frame, you are more the leader, in the situation. And really, as you probably already heard, it's about staying in the position in which you are leading the interaction, you are leading the conversation, you are leading kind of the relationship, you are the one leading it. And if you're not doing that, you most likely don't have the frame of the interaction. In order to have the frame over every single interaction, again, you're not going to have it. There are going to be people that are more dominant in the interaction, that have higher status, that are going to be more, persuasive and everything like that of other people, and influence and everything like that. But the best way that I've done it is, okay, number one, be cool, calm, collected in as many situations as you can be.
When President Biden was asked whether he believes you are a killer, he said, I do. Mr. President, are you a killer?
Послушайте меня.
Over my tenure, I've gotten used to attacks from all kinds of angles and from all kinds of areas under all kinds of pretext and reasons, and of different caliber and fierceness, and none of it surprises me. So as far as harsh rhetoric, I think that this is an expression of overall U.S. culture.
So that means that if it's a high stressful environment, instead of freaking out, you take a deep breath and you're like, okay, control the emotions. And this is about learning how to emotionally control yourself, emotionally regulate yourself, and learning how to create an ecosystem full of positive emotions, so you're not always looking for the outside and trying to get that validation to feel good. You feel good just in your own emotions. Number two is always trying to lead the interaction, always trying to either be the person that, let's go here, let's go over there, or, we should go do this, or being proactive rather than reactive. Because when you're reactive, you're reacting to someone else that has the frame. So always be a little bit more proactive. And the third thing is not catering to the other person as much, not trying to seek their approval, not trying to get that positive validation from the other person, really trying to be completely centered in yourself, not trying to get anything from the other person, but just expressing yourself and understanding that if the person likes you, if they don't, they don't, and understanding there may be some, sort of a tussle or like a sort of a frame battle if someone wants to keep their masculine presence, or their, they want to keep that dominant role, and they feel challenged or threatened by you. I use those three things when I go into a situation, knowing that I will possibly, have a little frame battle with someone, knowing that as long as I'm cool, calm, collected, and less reactive, and I'm just more sitting in the present, sitting in the present moment, enjoying myself, making sure that I'm leading and trying to lead, and using a few sort of different persuasive tactics to persuade people to do the things that I want to do, I will know that I will probably most likely have the frame. Let's actually go into a classic frame battle. I've actually broken this down once before. If you'd like to go check out that video, the whole complete video, I'm going to take a snippet of Russell Brand having a frame battle with one of the news anchors called Brian, and I'm going to show you exactly and kind of get you an example, a real life example that was on a news show, and how you can take that into your interaction.
Funny, the accent, when I see him in person, it's totally fine. Forgetting Sarah Marshall or the TV show, it's fine. But on satellite radio in the car, I can't understand a single joke you say.
You can't understand it.
Can you
I
understand me?
Yes, but I'm telling you, when I'm driving in the car and everyone's laughing in the audience of the radio, I'm like, I have no.
You can just see this chest pop out, and it's more of that animal instinct that we have in us. That's just like, you just criticize me, there's a little bit of tension, and basically all it is tension. So how he handles that is very, very interesting. So watch this.
Everyone's laughing in the audience of the radio. I'm like, I have no idea what he just
It's
said.
best you focus on your driving, Brian. You're a man, you don't want to be distracted by humour. You might crash into a pedestrian.
So that is what we call a frame battle, which is a little dig. He just says, I didn't understand your accents, and you're like, well, you best concentrate on your driving. You might hit somebody, Brian. It's kind of like in a little frame battle. So basically, Brian, I don't know what answer he was expecting from him, but it was just like, I don't understand you. Very easy for Russell to be like, what do you mean? And then for Brian to dig himself, but he's in control of the conversation so much that he kind of uses it and be like, okay, he didn't mean to insult me, but he just did insult me. I'm gonna have a little dig at him too.
Like, I have no idea what he just
It's
said.
best you focus on your driving, Brian. You're a man, you don't want to be distracted by humour. You might crash into a pedestrian.
So it's a good thing.
I think it's probably for the best.
With a cheeky smile at the end, you know? The frame is almost like, who's going to be the dominant person in the environment? You know, there's a little frame battle going on, and it's funny because, you know, Brian has a dig, then he has a dig back, and we get to see it as it goes on.
I think it's not listening to him, it's experience. It's just sort of taking it all in.
You are talking about me as if I'm not here and as if I'm an extraterrestrial. You know, I'm from a country
you're
that's
a kind of
near
shop
to you.
window dummy. We're just sort of admiring the whole, you know, it's the whole thing, isn't
Well,
it?
thank you for your
like a
casual
sculpture.
objectification.
It's an experience.
You know, he kind of calls everyone up just then. You've got 3 people against 1, and he's able to take on all 3 people's frames, or the invisible rules and the invisible barriers of the conversation. And these happen, don't get me wrong, they're not just a woo-woo thing, it happens.
I'm glad that it is positive for you.
It's very positive, absolutely. Any other questions? Yeah, I'm a little nervous.
You've become nervous. Why are you nervous?
Willie, no, I'm
You're a powerful.
So now he takes back control of the conversation.
You're a powerful woman. You've got a lovely job. What seems to be the trouble?
I don't know.
You've got a hair like Princess Diana.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, I've never
When
seen
she was
that.
alive,
Here's
it wasn't being offensive.
Here's a little subtext.
Yes.
I'm petrified of her, and you have her on her heels.
And she's just moved down the
I
other end of the table.
absolutely love this.
Look at the body language. I love it. It's just very relaxed, very loose.
What seems to be the trouble, love?
No, I'm good.
Well, now we're going to do a bit of therapy. Would you do therapy with Willy Brandt?
With who?
Willy Brandt. Would you do therapy with him?
I don't think.
Because that's where he's heading.
Okay. I'm all right.
You shouldn't say he when a person is present. You should refer to the person by their name. That's basic good manners.
That is where Willy is heading.
Brandt.
Is this what you all do for a living?
Yes.
Okay, but I'm here to.
Professional.
Okay, well let me help you. Here with me are Brian and Kat. Brian, nice time. What do you think about Edward Snowden? What do you think about the situation with Snowden? Do we? Have you got anything to hide? Should we be concerned about the revelations that are occurring?
I don't know what's wrong with you. I understand everything he said.
No, it's because you're looking at him. When you don't see him and you don't see their lips.
This is real key. So now he's flipped the frame and he's kind of interviewed them. Watch how many questions he throws at Brian. And I'll explain it in a second.
With me are Brian and Kat. Brian, nice time. What do you think about Edward Snowden? What do you think about the situation with Snowden? Do we? Have you got anything to hide? Should we be concerned about the revelations that are occurring?
I don't know what's wrong with you. I understand.
He's flipped the script. 5 questions berated at him, and he's kind of. You find it funny just at the end there if you hear what she says.
I don't know what's wrong with you. I understand everything he said.
So he's won the frame, he's won the battle. You know, if you have a look at if we look at each other as human beings, and you see the frames between Brian and Russell that was going on, and then you have a look at the other news anchor now digging into Brian. So
I don't know what's wrong with you. I understand everything he said.
you know, in the invisible frame battle that we just had, Russell won, and now you've got the other people going after Brian. Now you'll hear Brian justify the why he said it.
You're looking at him. When you don't see him and you don't see their lips.
I understand the whole thing.
Stop saying he. I'm present. Russell. What's wrong with your manners?
You're good.
Be polite.
Me tomorrow with a big necklace and I'm opening it.
Look beyond the superficial. That's
So now you can even see that Brian has taken the frame that he has lost. All right, now I'm going to come here with a big necklace, shirt open. Basically, on a level, Brian is now saying, I lost, obviously. I'm going to change myself a little bit because I want to be more like Russell Brand. It's only subtle. It's only very subtle, but you can see that because he won the frame battle and he kind of, he took over control. Brian is actually reacting to Russell. Russell's not reacting to Brian. Brian is reacting to Russell, and even before when he says he is present, I am a like, you know, and you can see that he pulled him up kind of thing, and they are very reactive to him. And Russell is in command. He is leading the conversation. He is the dominant, you know, energetic figure that is open and free and, you know, kind of enjoying the hysteria that he's kind of caused and kind of seeing the internal conflict between the two people. So we got through that, and you got to understand that, you know, Russell Brand is one of those people that has a very big frame. He's very, you know, he's open. He's very relaxed. You saw sort of his body language, his eye contact. You saw how he, you know, talked over the top. You saw how Brian kind of assaulted him, and he was able to flip that. And that's what it is. You're going to get some challenges. You're going to get some, you know, sort of people that want to be the top dog. And all you got to do is be relaxed, be centered in yourself. Again, as I said, learning that emotional control, learning how to cultivate those positive emotions from within, and then again, be the leader in the situation, be the leader that is dictating to everyone, not a dictator, dictating, you know, sort of the rhythm of the conversation, sort of how fast everyone's talking. Again, as I said, that walking analogy, you know, are you catching up with someone, or are they catching up with you? Or are they slowing down to you? You are being the one that is dictating to the role. You are the one that is setting the rhythm, setting what the intention is, setting what maybe the conversation is, steering towards what you want to talk about. And from there, you will see that a lot more people will jump into your reality. It's kind of cultivating your own reality. And when you're in your own reality, instead of jumping into other people's, everyone else is going to try to jump into yours, exactly what you want, because then you can set the frames. So hope you like this video. I'll be seeing you very, very soon.